Coraline, how are you doing tagging on conversation design at this time?
That's a good question, and it's still a big topic in our business where we're not very convinced about yet. There's we do chat labeling, we do word labeling, but for most we are really manually doing chat labeling to see what contexts there are and what emotions there are in this kind of human conversation. The answer is not there yet, so we have a long way to go, and that makes it so interesting.
It does. It is a journey, right? But yes. The manual is de rigueur. It's normal right now. The fancy stuff Michael's doing with auto tagging, I assume there's also a certain amount of human supervision there, right, Michael? It's
absolutely.
Not all, yeah.
I guess, yeah, it has to be. I guess still now. No, there's not yet. There's not yet a good program or some good software to help us out. We're dealing with it, and we are engineering and doing all the stuff we can to make it as good as it gets, but it's not good yet. No.
And I do just, sorry, go ahead.
All right, Michael, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, I was just going to say on the sort of the manual versus automated tagging. So we're going for as automated as possible on the execution based on the tagging, but then the actual tagging itself, we're doing a mix of manual, automated, and assisted, and we want to move to more assisted. But I think there's always going to be places where we have to just depend on automation. IBM.com, depending on how you measure it, has somewhere between 20 and 40 million pages. We're not going to tag those manually. We can tag a core set of them, and we can tag new pages going forward. But there's just a reality. And our automatic tagging, we were doing some inspection of it. You know, this is for tagging by subject, which is like an obvious strong point for natural language understanding. It's what it's built for. And then tying that to a topic taxonomy, we're getting to like 80–90% accuracy. And what that 10% miss is telling us is where we have weak points in our semantics and the ontology. It's almost always a case where, either it's a content weakness, like they didn't, we picked the second subject when it should have been the primary one, but they didn't put enough actual content on the page to justify its primary tagging. Or it's a weakness in the ontology, where we have 2 or 3 subjects that are closely related semantically, but in very different parts of the taxonomy. And we failed to sort of create the right relationship between there to sort of allow that page to be tagged accurately. So I think even the inaccuracies are actually really interesting. So in that respect, the automated tagging is useful in multiple ways.
Yeah, I think that there's kind of a distinction here which we need to draw, and this, for me, this always comes up when we're talking about conversation design, micro content, semantics, etc. Is, are we talking about chat as a different type of search, as in I'm having a conversation so I can narrow down, and then the result of this will be handing over something, which I think is what you were saying earlier, Michael. We're trying to narrow down what the user's wanting so that we can find them the thing, or is the conversation the thing? Now, are we actually designing a conversation? The intent is that the conversation will solve the problem, which I think is what Coraline is working on.
True. Yeah.
So it's it's a different. Are you doing a mix, Coraline, or?
Yes, but in this panel discussion is where we're talking about omnichannel system. It's for us, it's the real conversation, how to get it architected. That's the main thing, and it's for now not I wouldn't say impossible, but it is hard. It's because it's what I said earlier. It's not about making sentences or writing sentences. It's about designing dialogues, and that's a whole different ball game. So that makes it interesting, I guess.
Yeah, within chat, it's really interesting. We had another question that came in. Larry was talking about NLP-driven AI chatbots, and Michael talked about NLU, based approaches to auto tagging 20 million plus top pages by topic. In manual systems such as Coraline's talking about, where everything is being curated at the individual fragment level and labeled in a totally human way, there's that's one extreme as well. So with Larry, what Larry's talking about with AI-driven chatbots that are totally like you give it a corpus and then you try to get it to answer questions, versus totally manual conversation design and labeling, there's a spectrum. And what's interesting is that everybody's exploring that spectrum from a different perspective, and everybody is coming in with different mixes of that. I think Michael, talked about something where we think the answer is kind of something like what Michael's talking about, which is that there is a human curated, orchestrated, and managed ontology that is the reference for machine process to facilitate. So there's a human basis for the tagging and inferencing, human managed. It's a high leverage point to have a formal ontology to work against, or at least a basic semantic model.
To listen in on the full roundtable conversation and others, plus get access to more exclusive insight about omnichannel customer experiences, join the content order for free at simpleA.com.